Hello everyone, welcome to From the Star Wars Home Video Library. I'm your host Nathan P. Butler. In our last episode we looked at the Definitive Collection, a Star Wars Laserdisc set which really set the standard of the time for what Star Wars should look and sound like. The original three Star Wars films, A New Hope, The Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi, were given new video transfers in widescreen format, and also given a new audio mix. Basically the best parts of the 70mm audio mix from theaters, with a little bit of mono stuff mixed in there to make for a definitive audio experience, also with a lot of nifty little extras thrown into that set. That THX remastering process for Laserdisc, a set that was released in 1993, forms the basis for a THX Remastered Edition on VHS, released 2 years later in 1995. This set is actually available in two different variants here. The 1995 full screen set, and again, at this point, a lot of people are still watching videos on VHS in full screen. The widescreen thing really doesn't kick in till right near the end of VHS's life when people start seeing DVDs and start getting a feel for that kind of thing as the right way or the best way to watch films. The full screen set looks like this. It's another brick like the 1990 and 1992 sets here. In this case, you got the information on the side, similar otherwise except for just the names of the films on the one side, and the films themselves have the so-called face covers that we're used to here. We have A New Hope, we have a logo here. It's still the whole blue and green and white thing that we saw in 1992, only at this point they have new logos to them, so it is a new label here. Back with everything running together here. Empire Strikes Back with the Stormtrooper face. Okay, similar here, that special edition version of the logo. Back. And Return of the Jedi with Yoda. Okay, Return of the Jedi there. And the cool back cover here. I kind of like the way that this is set up. It certainly looks a lot nicer than some of those earlier ones that we saw on VHS. Now these were available in full screen in this version of the set. And you may recall that in 1992, you could buy the Star Wars films in letterbox widescreen format on VHS, but you had to get that special collector's edition for it. It was kind of pricey. It was not really something for the average consumer. By 1995, that is starting to change, and you can actually buy a regular retail, non-special, souped-up version of the films in their THX Remastered format on VHS. That was this kind of flat box style. Nice and wide. Has little note there on the back from George Lucas. It says on the back, "The appeal of Star Wars has gone beyond anything I could have ever imagined. I am pleased that for the final video release of Star Wars in its original version," bing, 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 time out. This is 1995. "We knew there was going to be a special edition of A New Hope being released in 97 to celebrate the 20th anniversary. At this point, there had been no mention of there being a special edition version of The Empire Strikes Back or Return of the Jedi. That would be a shock later. We can present it with the best sound and picture quality yet available thanks to THX digital mastering. This widescreen edition also reproduces the Panavision format of the original theatrical releases, providing an extraordinary video experience. In the years to come, I hope you, your children, and your children's children will enjoy not only this trilogy, but also the adventures yet to come in the continually unfolding Star Wars universe." Again, similar cover here, just wide. Inside, no frills, it's just the films themselves. The only real difference, I'll just show you one of these because they're all pretty much the same thing, is that along with it saying at the bottom the whole digitally mastered in THX thing that's on the other ones, it has at the top Widescreen Collector's Edition, because that is what this set is actually called. The case is otherwise pretty much the same, except it says Widescreen Collector's Edition up here. You can just barely see it above the logo, underneath the Fox Video thing. Labels, pretty much the same, and the labels themselves don't see anything about Widescreen Collector's Edition at all, so you better not mix these up when you're getting your tapes all out and sorting them at any point. Notice though that while that says Widescreen Collector's Edition, the box doesn't. The box just says The Widescreen Edition. That's all. And as far as content, aside from the fact that the films are in widescreen in one and full screen in the other, the content is pretty much the same. What you get is, first off, you get this classic trailer. Okay, this is the one that people saw before the special editions that were supposed to get them hyped to go buy these sets, known as the One Last Time, or the original One Last Time, when most people talk about that particular advertising campaign. The trailer in question that appears on all of the tapes is this one.
For those who remember, For those who will never forget, and for a whole new generation who will experience it for the very first time. The Star Wars Trilogy. Three timeless adventures that changed movie making forever. Now, the entire trilogy, digitally mastered in THX for the ultimate in sound and picture quality. This will be your last chance to own the original version of Star Wars, the George Lucas masterpiece that launched the Star Wars trilogy. The Force is forever, for all generations. The original Star Wars trilogy on video, one last time.
Along with that, though, there was some other specific exclusive material for these sets. Before each film, you got your trailer, then you get the film, but also early on with the trailer, you get a special interview. The 3-part interview with George Lucas, carried out by, I believe it's Leonard Maltin that does it. And it's basically a rundown of his thoughts about that particular film as they're leading up to eventually doing the special editions. These are different interviews than the ones you'll find on the special editions where it talks about the special edition changes. These are unique to this set, which is actually kind of cool. You know, it's one of the things that can actually make you go buy this set as opposed to the 1992 set, aside from the enhanced picture and sound that should have already probably got you to buy this one at the time. Now, this will be the last VHS release of the Star Wars films before the special editions themselves, though those editions will come in theaters and on VHS only 2 years later. So a lot of folks got this one, and that was it. Okay, they didn't go back and look for any of the other ones in terms of collecting. This was a definitive version. A lot of those earlier versions got thrown out. Nowadays, they've become somewhat of collector's items, as we're focusing on here on the show. These you can find pretty easily on eBay. They were not very hard to find at the time, not very hard to find these days. This one's a little harder to find than that cube type set, or the not really a cube, the brick set from 95, but both of them relatively cheap to come by. They are original editions, but since they're not some of the earlier ones, you won't find people bidding the price up too much if you're looking to collect these as part of your collection. Next time, we'll check out the 1997 home video releases of the Star Wars Trilogy Special Edition. This is our time covering the original version, one last time. Catch you next time. Thank you for watching, and may the Force be with the home video viewers.